Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk, and so it's the year 2025, and so it's time to do vinyl tags. And so the only vinyl tag that I've run across so far that I was interested in was the Collector Scum vinyl tag. And so I've dressed appropriately. I've got my local H, whatever happened to PJ Souls 20th anniversary cap on, Collector Scum, my Sahel Sounds t shirt for those. North African Sahel reissues, Collector Scum. And so Broke on Records, he did this tag, he put together the prompts, and so let's get right into them. So his first prompt is an album you own on all three formats. And for the purposes of this question, I'm going to define formats as being having something on cassette, CD, and vinyl. Obviously, there are other formats you could have it on. You could have it on a mini disc or reel to reel or 8-track or whatever, but we'll go with kind of what are the usual three. And so I'm going to go with the Bad Brains debut album. And so I was a little bit of a latecomer to the Bad Brains. I wasn't really onto them until the 1990s. And so the original version that I bought this probably in 1996 when Reach Out International Records, ROIR, issued this on CD. It was originally just released on tape cassette. And so this is my version that I bought in 1996 or so. I can't confirm the exact date. And then some of you may be aware of that more recently, Bad Brains have been reissuing much of their back catalog, and they've been doing it in this punk note style. So there you go. So that's listing the players: Dr. No, HR, Earl Hudson, Daryl Jennifer. And it's made to look like an old school Blue Note jazz record. And punk note rather than blue note, the finest in punk. And so that's very collector scummy. And what's even more collector scummy is now this isn't the OG cassette that somebody bought in the 1980s that nowadays you'd probably have to spend a lot of money for. But this is a reissue of the cassette that I haven't even bothered to open because I've got two other formats to play this on. And this isn't even my sealed in shrink variant. We'll do that later. But there you go. Bad Brains debut. Got it on three different formats because I'm a collector scum. A band you own in all three formats. And so this time I'm going to go a different route with formats. I'm going to go with 7-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch record. And I'm going to go with Sebadoh. And so Sebadoh, early in their career, had this Gimme Indie Rock 7-inch EP released on Homestead Records. There you go. Lou Barlow and gang, Gimme Indie Rock. And so that was released back in 1991. And then, of course, 10-inch. Not too many bands release stuff on 10 inches, but there is a Sebadoh EP called Secret, which was released in, I think, 2012, 2013, Joyful Noise Records. So it's a 10-inch record, not a 12-inch record. So it's got 5 songs on it. And then we've got, again, in the Collector Scum. Now I've had this on CD for years, never had it on tape, but this was the 30th anniversary edition released this year of Sebadoh's album Bake Sale on Sub Pop Records, and so it's on this colored metallic vinyl. So that's very collector scummy. I believe this is a loser edition. Doesn't actually say loser edition on it, but let's just go with that. I'm a loser, and it's a loser edition. And then, just for a bonus, we've got a recent, I think this is from like 2014 or 2015, also on Joyful Noise, another Sebadoh 7-inch on clear vinyl with a cover of Rush's song Limelight on one side, and then some spoken word by the Trailer Park Boys on the other side. On who besides Collector Scum would buy such a thing? Next one, and I'm going to need to pause for a second because I forgot to pull it. Alright, so the next one was a box set with at least one album you already own, and I'm actually pretty good at not doing that. But this was The Story of Zamrock, which was, I believe, an 8-album box set released by Vinyl Me Please. I'm no longer a member of Vinyl Me Please, but... And then I'm not going to show you the entire box set, but I'm going to show you the album that I have that is a repeat. Of course you got it. Which is Amanaz with their album Africa, which I had already bought before I got around to buying this box set. But it's the only one of the 8 albums in the box set that I didn't have on some other format. Favorite band's worst album you keep anyway. So regular viewers know I'm really into Juliana Hatfield, and there wasn't any way I was going to be able to do the Collector Scum video without mentioning her, because she's like one of the few artists I kind of allow myself to be sort of a fanboy about. So her original band was called the Blake Babies, and so, of course, I've got the Blake Babies on multiple formats as well. So here's the original album version of the Blake Babies debut, Nicely Nicely, from 1987. My understanding is that Juliana drew the cover and did the handwriting here. This is a completely DIY album that they self-released on Chew Bud Records. My understanding is most of the 1,000 that were pressed ended up in the hands of college rock stations and people who wrote zines. They were trying to get noticed. Thanks to list is basically a list of like their family and friends that coughed up some of the money for recording this. I have it in a couple other formats as well that I seem to not have handy at the moment. That's okay. This wasn't the multiple formats question anyway, but I do have it on CD and cassette as well, because Juliana is one of those people. I'll go ahead and get her on multiple formats. You've seen most of the other ones as well. And then finally, a sealed album or in-shrink variant other than this Bad Boys cassette. So this is something I bought in a dig a few months ago at one of the many peddlers malls throughout the state. So this is a sealed version of a 1979 disco album by soul singer Denise LaSalle called Unwrapped, which ironically is wrapped right now. And so it has basically disco versions of some of her well-known songs, like Trapped by a Thing Called Love, Too Little in Common to Be Lovers, a cover of the Rod Stewart classic Do You Think I'm Sexy? And of course what we're going to do is we're going to unwrap it right now. I was going to do the Rob the Waxed version of a video unwrapping it. Let's just do it right now. The shrink's pretty loose anyway on this. It might be hilarious if we find out that my record is damaged. I had that happen one time when I opened a sealed record. So MCA, it's got an MCA company inner sleeve, no custom inner sleeve. I guess it got bent after all these years. And here's the record. No cracks, no scuffs, no scratches. Seems like pretty much as minty of a record from 1979, now a 46-year-old record that you can get. So I unwrapped a record for this. Okay, so picture disc variants. And so this is something that I found one day in an antique store for a few dollars. The hype sticker is very badly faded on this PVC. And I'm sure that having this record be in this PVC for 40-ish years has not been a great idea, but I haven't even tried to play it. It's the Miami Vice theme by Jan Hammer, and so you can see there's Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas, if that was that guy's name right. And then there's the Glenn Fry, You Belong in the City on the other side. I should probably just give this to somebody who's more into kitschy 80s stuff than me. Record store day variant. Well, there used to be 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the vinyl tag waited until January 1st to come out. Well, of course, guarantees don't always come through, but at least the RSD tradition of The Cure releasing picture discs for Record Store Day seems to be coming true. The one I'm choosing to show, I only have a couple of them, is 17 Seconds, First Day 2020 picture disc exclusive. And so there it is. It's got a forest and other cool sorts of songs on it. So that's the picture disc version of 17 Seconds by The Cure. Import variants. I'm not a person who's bought a lot of imports in my life. But this one, we can see somebody put a sticker on the outer sleeve that said import. So this is the only Motorhead album I own, Ace of Spades. And my understanding is that this is a German pressing of it on this bronze label, so it's not an American pressing or a UK pressing. So Lemmy and the guys. Big box variants, and so of course I'm not a big fan of Walmart in general or their vinyl section, but when they do $15 sales, I'll go buy stuff. And so a few years ago at a $15 Black Friday sale, picked up a few things, including Metallica's Master of Puppets on the exclusive Walmart Battery Brick vinyl. I originally got this album back when it came out in the 1980s. I'm pretty sure I bought it at the Kmart that was in my small town. We had a Kmart, not a Walmart at that point of time. Sometimes I remember buying records, and I'm pretty sure I remember buying Master of Puppet on cassette. I would show you that cassette, but it's something I don't have anymore. Album you spent the most money on in 2024? Well, it's actually a box set of 7-inch singles. So this was one of those Third Man the Vault releases. So this is Elvis Presley. So this is all of Elvis's Sun singles re-released. And then there was also a bonus EP of some other songs as well. I showed this in one of my other videos recently, but you get some good G-Jaws, like a 45 adapter. That's Alright Mama. And then, so this is the bonus EP with these 4 songs on it that you probably haven't heard before. And so this is kind of on a splattered vinyl with a small hole. And then the actual reissues of the actual singles from back in the mid-50s. So they're in the Sun Company sleeves. They're on yellow vinyl. So obviously you're not going to mistake Blue Moon of Kentucky for the rare, invaluable version on Sun, as opposed to all of Elvis's singles on RCA Victor from the 60s and 70s, which, despite what people in antique malls think, are not rare or valuable. Album you bought on sale but didn't need? Well, what is this didn't need concept? Okay, well, maybe I'm going to show another Walmart record here. Didn't actually buy this one at Walmart, but it is. You can see it's the Walmart exclusive version of Holly Dolly Christmas on transparent white vinyl. So I know Christmas is over now, but this was a few years ago. I actually made a video out of this, even though it turned out that this is a terrible pressing and it's a pretty uninspired album that I unfortunately spent $8 for from an antique mall. It's not one of Dolly's better efforts. What's better for spending money in an antique mall on a Christmas record is the Ventures Christmas album, which is something I picked up recently and did enjoy during our winter solstice holiday season. Even the Charlie Brown piano music's better than the Dolly Parton. And finally, bragging rights show a limited or verse pressing variant. And so I think I showed this back early in my VC career. So this is Mudhoney live at Third Man Records. So you might be saying, that's not a big deal. A lot of their live shows they put out, and of course you can buy them in their store or you can buy them online. But you may or may not know that if you actually attend the show, then you get the opportunity to buy the special split variants. So this one's on split black and translucent blue. You have to have been somebody who attended the show. So either you had to have attended the show or you bought it on the secondary market. This was from back in 2013, so it was mostly stuff from the album they had, Vanishing Point, which was their current album at that point. And it's just one side, so there were some songs they played that didn't make this. I noticed back when I started entering stuff in the Discogs that somebody paid $250 for this. I was thinking maybe I should sell it, but I didn't. And it seems like that was only the first sale that ever happened on Discogs back in 2018. The price, I guess a bunch of people who did own the album probably decided that they wanted to sell it at that point. The aftermarket price seems to have settled around $75, as opposed to the standard all-black variant that anybody could buy seems to be going for like $15 or so used. So, but anyway, I was at Third Man Records and I saw Mudhoney, which makes me very special. And if you offer me $250 for the record, I'll probably sell it to you.